Welcome to the Aligned Life Podcast by yours truly, Dr. Tiffany. How about we get out that magnifying glass and look at every part of your life, the awesome, the suck, and everything in between. There's so much beauty in you. Stop being afraid of what isn't good enough and let's double down on what is together. It's about your truth and your life, aligned. Hey, everybody. We have Callyn back. Hi, Cal.
Hey,
So in case you're listening to these and you're like, who in the heck is Cal? She's our daughter. She actually was one of the big reasons why I started this podcast, because I knew that if we could have a voice from a kid on mindset and greatness and all of the things that I naturally talk about in practice and in my coaching, that kids could be better and there could be a mentor for them. So that's why she's on. We are more regular now. We went through a little dry spell there. But I think, I think we're back on track with some really important topics. And as I've always mentioned, if there's anything that you feel like you want her to touch on or you want us to talk about, please leave a comment, DM me, send a message on our Facebook page, DM her, Instagram, Facebook, some way, just get a hold of us as to what is it that you want to hear more about. So this is I don't know if it's a hot topic, but it's probably a topic that we don't feel that comfortable talking about. And as we were just brainstorming, we kind of went from what happens when you are playing or you are singing or you are acting or you are doing a speech in the front of the room, the teacher calls on you, whatever it is. What happens when that makes you so nervous that you can't perform, that you feel like you're like stuck in the mud? And then she mentioned something like, and what happens if that crowd is the coach? How do you perform when you're scared of what someone might think, or you're scared of making a mistake, or you're scared of failing, the perceived failing? So I'm going to let her kind of have the floor as to how she overcame that. You probably did many times, but you really did your junior year. And we can talk through that when that happened too. But I'm just going to give you the floor as to how to get over that fear of other people making you nervous, the coach making you nervous, whatever.
Well, hi guys. I would say the first or the most important part is focusing on what you're doing. So if you're playing basketball, if you're singing, to focus on singing, because our bodies and our minds naturally don't multitask super well. So when you are thinking and doing two different things, of course, you're not going to do them 100% and you're not going to do them both well. So if you're constantly thinking about, oh, the student section, there's that boy in that front row, of course, you're not going to perform because your mind can't do two things at once. And right now you're supposed to be thinking about basketball, So
Love that.
To focus solely on what you're doing, the sport, you're dribbling or you're passing or you're looking to shoot, like focus in and tune into what you can do and what you're supposed to be doing, because you've been practicing and working hard to be able to do this. So don't think about something else, because you're not going to put your 100% effort that you want to into what you're doing. So
love it. And it's true. The brain does not multitask well. So the brain takes the highest priority. And so you get to decide what you're focusing on, and that becomes your highest priority. So I totally agree with you.
Plus, when you're thinking, like when we perform to please others, there's no way that it's how we actually are acting. That's not our true identity. That's not our true actions. So if you're performing to please that cute boy, well, it's a totally different mode of performance, because it's not what you've been practicing. It's not what you've been thinking about. So of course it's not going to be different, and then you'll make mistakes. And plus you're thinking about something else. So how can you even dial into what you're supposed to be doing and performing,
Right.
After I tore my ACL, I was super nervous and anxious about what people think of me not starting and not playing, because my freshman year, I got moved up to JV, played a ton. My sophomore year, I started varsity. And then junior year, I started, but then got hurt. Well, then my senior year, I came back and I was promised this starting spot and playing time, and it was nothing what it was. So I had to get over the shame and the embarrassment of not playing anymore, because that's all people knew me. And that's probably not what all people knew me for, but that's what I thought people knew me about,
Mm-hmm.
And so to not have that as my identity anymore was super, I felt just embarrassed all the time. I had this pit in my stomach. People aren't going to like me. People are going to think of me different, that I don't play, but that's not, people really don't care, honestly. At first, they're probably like, wow, that's interesting. She used to play, but they don't care, and they're not going to waste their energy on it. So we shouldn't either. So do what you can.
And if they do care, that's not your person, right?
For sure.
If their whole premise is to make fun of people, which we all know these people in school, right? There were a few people like that were at the games and teased you in school and teased you that, are you actually on the basketball team, Callyn? Right? And you had to decide if you were going to listen to them or not. And eventually you spouted back at them. Isn't that what happened?
Well, at first I was like, yeah, you're right. Trying to make a joke, right? Yeah, you're right. I don't play, but then it's like, you know what? Like, why do you have to waste your time and energy on making other people feel bad? Don't you have better things to do? Like, plus, like, it doesn't bother me as much as it bothers you, obviously. So don't come.
And whatever we put attention on, whatever we bring attention to is what you notice. So those are the things that I really remember working on as a family when you were really struggling. Like, what you put your focus on becomes more of. So be a better teammate, work harder in practice, figure out what your role is. Don't pout on the bench because there's enough people pouting on the bench thinking they're good, right? And that's, we're talking about mindset today. Every time Cal and I talk, we talk about mindset, but you totally changed your mindset. So once again, at the end of the season, you would not look back and regret that you didn't do all the things that you need to do to be a champion. And a champion doesn't mean that you're the best on the court. A champion doesn't mean anything of the sort, with the exception of being the best that you can be every single day. That was one of your pivotal moments, I think.
Well, and part of it ties into confidence too. So of course we're going to be nervous. We're going to be nervous for the game or the practice if we feel like we haven't been prepared, or we feel like we don't have the skill, or we don't have the preparation for the game. And so a lot of times people that have anxiety, it stemmed from not doing, right? Yeah. Well, you can't just sit around and expect results if you're not going to do it. So if you're anxious about it, practice more, run more so that you can pass your test, or you know what I mean? Action takes over the anxiety. And so a lot of times my confidence had to go up for me to believe that I could. And then it was fine, because half the time people aren't even worried about you. And it's more of your self-conscious. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous at this and I'm nervous at this. Well, who cares? Just have confidence that you're ready to play. You're ready to perform. And coaches see confidence too. And they want people that are out there that have confidence. So,
and you can be a confident leader in any scope of a sport, drama, the classroom, in any way, right? Like, being the confident leader doesn't mean you're the best. It doesn't mean anything of the sort of except for being confident in that place. You might not be the most skilled person on the court or the field or the stage. That doesn't mean that you're not confident, that you're not a leader.
Plus, when you're confident, we can reference meditation, but the confidence to know that you can makes you inside your body, right? So okay, I'm ready to play. I feel like my whole body is ready to play, my mind, my hands, my feet, everything. Well, if you're in your body and you're ready, there's no way that you can be focusing on the crowd. There's no way that you can be focusing on the coach. If you are ready and you're in it, and there's not these other birdies on your shoulder telling you that, oh, coach is maybe he didn't like that, or he's judging me. Well, there's no way if you're tuned into your body and you're ready to play and you know that you can, and then you know that you're ready for this game and you're ready for the opponent and you're going to be the best teammate. Like, you have to just be in your body and believe that your body can do it too, you know?
So how do we train our mind to be in our body?
I thought meditation was super helpful because the focus of meditation is to like become one. So your mind and your body are connected. And so your mind isn't thinking one thing and your body is not doing another. To be able to like, okay, my anxiety is gone. My nervousness is gone. You know, like everything is just in one. And like these side thoughts, these other things that are going on can't come in. Like you have a shield. And so that's the music thing for me. Like I was like, okay, my body's like ready. You know, there's no way that any of these like other factors are going to affect me because I'm like ready, you know? I don't know how else to explain it, but I felt like meditation, like.
So did you
I don't
tell
know.
me about like what meditation means to you? Did you meditate at night? Did you meditate in the day? Did you just do it before your music? Tell me about like easy ways for people basically to do what you just described.
I really like the app Headspace. I like meditation, like that app at night. So like before I go to bed, I'm like done with the day kind of thing.
Headspace,
and then I fall asleep. Headspace? What did I say?
No, that's what I'm asking because you kind of mumbled.
Oh yes, Headspace, the app.
Okay.
And then I fall asleep. So then I'm, that stuff is clear in the morning, feel better. But like, doesn't necessarily have to be like an app or a meditation yoga session. Like music is meditating for me, especially when you like consistently listen to the same song. So if you've listened to our other podcast we did, I said I listened to this intro by Nuff Said, and I constantly listen to that same one. Well, my mind knows where to go every time. That's the same thing. It's the same routine. And so I do the same actions. I am like trying to tune into the game. So like meditation doesn't necessarily have to be a huge thing with candles and oils and how some people describe it. It's just about finding a headspace that like you get into your task that you're supposed to be in and that your mind and body are connected to do that task. You know? So that could be music, it could be writing, it could be drawing, something that relaxes you and like gets rid of, I would say the best part about meditation is it doesn't allow me to think about anything besides what I'm going to be focused on next.
Yeah, I love that because there's many different ways to do meditation to experience it, and I think a lot of people feel it is very obscure and it will take a long time, and I don't know how to do it. And my biggest advice, because I highly recommend this for every age, is to just do it for 3 minutes a day if that's what it is. Headspace is a great app. Calm is another great app. Brain Tap is a great app. But some people see meditation as more of the act of being, whether that's prayer or a bath or a journal. Those things can also do the same. And I think you said it perfectly because it's about oneness, you know, everything kind of coming in. Get the blinders back forward so you don't see, feel, hear all the other external things that happen, especially when we're looking at performance of any kind, whether you're a student and an athlete in the arts. And naturally, like we all are performers. If you work, you're in performing. If you're with your family, you're performing. I feel like part of greatness is just being your best every single day for life, not for that basketball game and that musical. And how can we always be in that state of oneness? And then how do you recognize when you're not connected?
Well, and for me, sometimes there's not time to listen to that song, or there's not time to, you're not always available and you don't have access to certain things. So just like being alone or even silence for 5 minutes or secluding yourself from your roommates for 5 minutes to like reset. And that's all it is. Reset your body, reset your thoughts. Your previous breakup is out. You know what I mean? So it doesn't necessarily have to be this huge thing. It's just about resetting your mind.
Anything else on how to not have the crowd make you nervous or impact your play?
There's always going to be a crowd in like everything you do. You have your friends, that's a crowd, no matter what you do, your actions. So just to be able to manage, every crowd is different and everyone judges. So no matter what you do, people are going to judge in life. So to figure out who's worth allowing them to judge and whose opinion is okay to take into consideration, because sometimes we're off track and there's always that crowd or that coach that is going to keep you on your path. And if you've swerved off a little bit, okay, we got to come back on the road or the path. But like there's those trolls or there's those people that will always constantly try to take you down, and that's in life in general. But to remember that, like, to stay on your goals and your life. I don't know how to explain it, but like there's always going to be a crowd, right? So to just manage when their opinion matters and when to tune into your body and multitasking out, you know?
Yep.
So when it's okay to listen to the crowd and when it's okay to ignore it and shield it off.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the word. Yeah.
That's the word. And that takes connection. That takes oneness, right? Like knowing the difference between what you need and want and what their stuff is. That takes confidence in this is who I am. One of the best statements I've heard in the last year is, if you would not ask for advice from somebody, why do you care about their opinion? And that is so powerful to me, because so many times we pay attention to people's opinions that are out of our circles, right? So let's just say we have these circles of people, and you have your closest friends, your dearest friends, family, the people that know you the best, the people that you love the best in this inner circle. And then you have the next layer, which maybe your extended family and acquaintances, and then you have the next layer and onward, that is all the people that you don't know. Think social media. So now we post something on social media and all these people are commenting things that you don't like. We pay attention to their opinion more than we pay attention to our inner circle's opinion, because we're not confident enough with who we are or what we believe, or we don't want to stand out. So we're conforming to the crowd. And I think that's one of the biggest things, is if you choose to allow the crowd to influence you, or if you need to put your blinders on, knowing yourself and having that confidence will help you have clarity in how you go forward.
Right. And sometimes it takes a little bit of trial and error. Like maybe you let a crowd member in and they say something, you're like, whoa. Nope. And that's not going to happen again. Learn my lesson there, you know? Yeah. And sometimes you're like, shoot, I should have reached out, or I should have let that person in. And it's right or wrong, but you'll learn who you can trust, and, you know, it ebbs and flows, but you can't always believe these. Yeah. The fourth layer of the crowd, right? Those are the people that you wouldn't ask for advice. So don't take their advice, or don't take their critic.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, kiddo, any last wise thoughts?
Nope. I mean, it's normal to be nervous. Just practice.
I know one of the things I wrote was, when we continue to practice being uncomfortable, then the uncomfortable situations become comfortable. And once they become comfortable, then you know you have to take a step out again and be uncomfortable. So eventually, personal growth, getting better in whatever way you want to get better at, is starting to be paved, because you're starting to train your brain that being uncomfortable is actually a good thing. And it's not a bad thing, because what happens is we start to get that anxious tummy, let's say, and instantly we think, oh my gosh, this is bad. What do I need to do to get rid of this? Well, that may be your biggest gift is, okay, so I know this is uncomfortable, but it's still the right path. It's still the direction that I need to go. So I need to take a step. And I know this is going to be uncomfortable, but it's going to get me closer to my goals. And that's one thing you've always done really good at.
Yep. Well, and the crowd will constantly change too. And your inner circle might a little bit, but those are the people that you can rely on the most. So your fourth layer, your fifth layer of crowd people, they'll change. And those are the people that don't care enough. Like, that's not who you're trying to influence or inspire, because those people are, no, ick.
Not your people. That's one of the biggest pieces of life, I think, is finding your people, knowing what that looks like and holding those people tight.
Yep.
All right, kiddo. Once again, if you have any ideas or this conversation sparked something like, oh, I really need to talk to my kids about XYZ. Could she help with this? DM us, reply, comment on this podcast. DM either of us and either of our businesses. So Healing Touch Chiropractic, The Align Life, Callyn's Instagram, my Instagram. Yeah.
You don't reply to your Instagram. Don't send her a DM, please. She'll open it in 2 months. No.
I don't even know how to. There's too many things. Too many things, Cal.
Don't send it. No.
All right. Don't send it in Instagram. Facebook me. Love you guys. And
yes.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening and following the Align Life podcast with Dr. Tiffany. If you love this and can think of anyone who needs to hear about it, would you mind sharing with them? Find me online at drtiffanyjohnson.com, where you can find out more about my memberships, courses, mentoring, and any upcoming events. To learn more about chiropractic for you and your family, go to htchiro.com and follow our social pages. I can't wait to connect with you soon, and until then, be you, be aligned.